There's an awakening at the end of this video. Woo! One of my favorite books when I was a kid was called The Monster at the End of the Book. It's a Sesame Street book. Really good picture book. In fact, I'm going to tag it here in this video so you can get one on Amazon. It's awesome. I won't give away the ending, but the ending is well worth it. So in this video, I want to address what it is an awakening looks like. And at the end of the video, I will show you something. The one example I've seen of a true, clear awakening happening in real time. Most of the time when I hear about an awakening from someone I'm working with, they message me. I got one today, actually. And the last message this person sent me was a few days ago. And he just said, "Thanks for everything." I hadn't heard from him. And this morning I got a message from him that said something like, "How did I miss this? I can't believe it was right in front of my face the whole time. It's like childhood again. I'm laughing uncontrollably." Other times someone will write me a narrative about the shift that's occurring or has occurred for them. And it typically continues to evolve over a few days. And then the honeymoon period lasts several weeks to several months. But I've only seen one that I was convinced was a thoroughgoing awakening captured on video. So we'll watch that at the end. So I want to try to do the impossible, give you the flavor of going through an awakening, what leads up to it, what it's like going through it. As you've heard me say many times, it's a transformation in what you take yourself to be. It's a restructuring of identity, but it's not just a lateral restructuring. It's a sort of destructuring. And what you find yourself in is so vast and free. It's boundless. Whereas what you were perceiving yourself to be in or as, the constraints of who you are in your life and what's possible and what's real and what's not real, were much smaller, much tighter, much more constrained, more fixed. And all of a sudden those boundaries that you experience as the boundaries of you and the world and life are just not there. And then you see that what they always were thoughts, but they weren't just a fleeting thought here and there. They were a set of beliefs that had a lot of buy-in, that had a lot of attachment behind them. It's almost as if all of those boundaries, identity structures, beliefs were there in place so that you didn't see something, as if like there's part of you back here somewhere that you don't want to see, something that is hidden, like a core of shame. And those identity structures were there to sort of keep you from seeing that. And when you look from that view, then life is sort of reactive and defensive. You are always trying to find a way to feel better, but it's always underpinned by the feeling of not feeling okay, not feeling good enough, not feeling complete, not feeling whole. But it's hard to see that because the view is so narrowed. But the big surprise is that what's behind you, that part of ourselves that we're actually avoiding, the place where it seems like we store our shame, that place we don't want to look, turns out to be vastness. That's where the freedom actually is. It's very strange. So how do you get there? How do you collapse that view? Well, people do it differently. Sometimes you can do this through emotion work, through just going where you don't want to go in the emotion body, going to the fear, feeling the fear, getting to the root of the fear, looking at the beliefs behind the fear, feeling what's there, what's next, and just keep following it all the way down. Because the emotion body is sort of the barrier. It's not that there's anything wrong with the emotion body. It's that our perception of it, our cognitive identity, is structured to prevent us from traversing that fully and authentically. Because when we do, again, what we find on the other side is like vast, free, It's what we were always looking for. So in truth, what we're avoiding through habit, not through being a bad person or because you're purposely undermining yourself or anything like that, but just through simple habit force, what we're avoiding is actually exactly what we want. But we don't even know we want it because we're looking from a place of scarcity. So we're kind of fishing for scraps when the wholeness is already here. It's just that we're looking from a view that is actually avoiding it, which is very strange. So these paradoxical things I'm saying kind of point to why awakening is always so surprising when it happens. A very common perception before awakening, in fact, I would say a ubiquitous perception before awakening, is that it's not going to happen to me. It could happen to other people, and maybe it's possible. Maybe it happens 5 lifetimes from now or something, but it just doesn't feel like I'm special enough. I'm the right person. I have what it takes. There's too much shame here or something like that. So we doubt ourselves. So there's just this heaviness of doubt that feels like a weighted blanket or something. And because of that feeling and perception, it would appear that we don't sort of deserve the freedom, peace, joy, spontaneity, fluidity of awakening. But the weird thing is it's undeserved. It has nothing to do with deserving anything. The feeling that you are something that either deserves or doesn't deserve is itself a kind of distorted view. It's just a thought. Or the feeling that you're too guilty or too broken to experience yourself as infinite is a thought. It's a view. And we can hold on to that view strangely. At the same time we're trying to break through the view, we're also reinforcing the view. So the key is to see that's one thought right now. And then what's the next thought? What's the next thought? This is why I use this technique, because ultimately all of these perceived disruptions in who or what we are, these fractures, these dark places, are really not even there. They're just made apparent by thought. So when we collapse the thought structures by just seeing what thought is made of, which is just this, just consciousness, we have an opportunity to break through that scaffolding and then free fall, or see what's behind us. Or sometimes it just takes one tempestuous plunge into what we're afraid of. The dissolution, the letting go, the certain kind of death of letting go of everything we think we know about ourselves. Going through that and still staying the course of not clinging to a thought, a belief, an identity structure is often what it takes. So people enter this different ways. And some people, it literally just hits you, just comes upon you out of nowhere. I would argue that even in those cases, there's probably some sort of inquiry going on that you just sort of picked up without realizing it. Who am I? Where's the real me? If those thoughts aren't me because I'm aware of them, where am I? Who am I? What am I? And then you see nothing you think about yourself is you because it's a thought. You can think true things, false things, silly things, serious things, but they're just thoughts. So then what are you? Look there. Don't move. Rest. See what's never not at rest. Notice you never left this. Thoughts or no thoughts, it doesn't actually matter. There's nothing to hold a belief. There's nothing to hold a view. There's nothing to push emotion away. There's nothing to repress emotions. There's just this. That's where you find the purity of being. It's not something someone else can do. It's not something someone else can show you. You'll never do it in the way someone else did. You can only do it the way you do it because it's you. So it's a profound trust in you as the consciousness right here, right now, without any frills, without adding or subtracting, without believing anything. Just let go of all those beliefs, thoughts, directions, agendas, and it's right here. So, without further ado, I'm going to give you the link to the video I'm talking about. It's very short. but it's awesome. Maybe my favorite video. The only thing I'll say is notice the masterful way he leads her into the realization. Also notice the tremendous emotional outflow. And then after a few minutes, notice the deep peace. That's the peace that passeth all understanding.